Sri Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. So, dear Dhamma friends, as ordinary people ourselves, and sometimes we come to look for the purpose of life, and there are people ask how you can find the purpose of your life. So, to get into the purpose of your life, the very first thing you have to understand, you have to know what is life. When you're able to know what is life, and that will take you to the next level to see what kind of purpose you should have. Because without knowing what is life, how you can get into the purpose of life? So then to see what is life, you have to look into it. So then what is the life mean? Life mean that all the experience that you get with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. So that is your life. And when you're able to see deeply to that, it is just a moment of experience. And that moment of experience mostly related with our past experience, which we call mental formations or the sanskara. So this entanglement, this a bunch of experience, when it come together, related with our past thoughts and the present environment and the present moment of the situation, and even our future desires, when this all come together, we experience something in the middle. And sometimes even that experiencer, that whoever experienced this all, we cannot recognize very clearly. So without that clarity, without understanding the very nature of the experiencer, even you try to come to recognize a purpose, even you come to a purpose, sometimes it doesn't work. Why? Because the very foundation itself is not clear. So that's why it is important to see what is this life. And sometimes it is mostly person to person, it's become different. But averagely, when it comes to this all, this life means just thoughts. That is it. Just thoughts. Just look yourself. And if you're able to get out of the thoughts, you will get out of the life. And even the pain, hunger, there's most things. Of course, there is something in physically we can experience. There is something exist, but mostly that we see that this everything with the thoughts. The mostly rather than we see the clear things, that whatever exists itself, we mostly see the thoughts ourselves. So that's why in the Vipassana level, if you're able to see the movements and you're not going to settle down with something, and that clarity itself bring you out of that chaos, that whatever can keep happening inside you. And when the mind becomes free from that environment, you're going to see something. So what you see in that level going to bring you kind of wisdom to recognize which way you have to go. So the important thing is, with your past experience or the mental formations or with the sanskara and with your environment and your even the future desires, when this everything come together, in that very moment you cannot see the purpose of life. So then what you have to do, you have to separate these things and rescue your mind from your past experience or the sanskara or the future desires. And then also you have to rescue the mind from the environment and allow your mind to exist without this all three boundaries. So to do that in the basic level, we cannot sometimes, of course, there are people, they can do it themselves, but most people, we cannot. That's why we get into the refuge. We go, the Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. And that's why we trying to anchoring to kind of like the highest level of character. So that is the Buddha. And that is what we know. And so we keep always directing our life towards that way. So that is very, very important for us. Why? Because otherwise our own mental formations or our own sanskara or our own thoughts create chaos and again and again and again. And even this present environment and even with that chaos, whatever the purpose that we build in the future also going to become same nature. But in the very first level, rather than struggling with our own sanskara, mental formations or the thoughts, we start to get into mental format, structure. So that mental format is one of the things that we get direct our thoughts towards the Buddhahood. So in the very first level with the faith and convictions, and we start to offer ourselves to higher self, because it is very needed. Why? Otherwise we mostly, when we become self-centered people. So in the ancient time, that's a kind of like, you know, that the government also did that way. When you look at when it comes to elections, how people going to vote, there are two ways: self-interest, self-centered ideas, or the truth. This is the always, any country, if you look at the world history, human history, this is the two ways that people behave: self-interest or the truth. If you see the truth, you let go the self-interest and you go that way. Otherwise, sometimes when you caught up and when you tangle with the self-interest, you detach from the truth. So then you give your vote for whatever if you are more going towards the truth, then you going to vote towards that side. If you stuck with the self-centered self-interest, then you go with that. So that's why this spiritual life, the same. In the spiritual life yourself, if you go with the self-centered, with the self-interest, and what is happening, you keep repeating with the greed, hatred, and the delusion again and again and again, and you go with it. But if you are able to see the truth, you need who saw the truth. You need some people. Otherwise, you cannot just kind of get into a idea, kind of like a creator, because it also come as a result of your thoughts. It also blueprint of your mind. Because without that thoughts, you cannot come to a creator. So then what is the important thing? You have to see who show that truth. And so that's why that we go with the Buddha. And when once you start to follow that, and little by little, you go towards that way. Even it is not even the spiritual path. In conventional life, to have a good life, as ordinary person, become rich, what you have to do? You have to look how other people became rich. And if you want to become a doctor, an engineer, and if you want to get into the higher level of society, what you have to do? You have to look how other people came to that level and then go with it. As Socrates says, we all kind of like a following people, even not ourselves, even the Buddha himself, how he became a Buddha. In the samsaric journey, eons by eons, when he practicing to become a Buddha, he start to look what is the Buddha, and then he start to practice according to the previous Buddhas. And then he achieved the Buddhahood. Not by thinking himself and creating something in his own mind. So then the same principle yourself. If you look for a higher purpose regarding your own life, if you cannot understand what is this life, the very basic thing what you have to do, look who achieved to the highest purpose and get into that role model and follow that. Keep this as the role model yourself. So that's why we go refuge to the Buddha. Buddhan saranam gacchami. Not because of the fear, not because of punishment, not because of to escape from all the demons. No, not because of to get to health, or not because of to get out of any debt. The kind of like punishment. So we go because you have to have a purpose in you to become, reach to the truth. And every day you have to remember that. It is just not by we saying the Buddha Saranam Gacchami. Just saying it is not going to bring anything. But yourself, deeply, you have to have a purpose to reach to that. And Dhamman Saranam Gacchami. So the Dhamma, in case if you cannot be with the messenger, at least try to follow the message. So Dhammam Pasati, so Mam Pasati. During Buddha's time, then there are monks used to ask, Venerable Sir, after you passed away, what going to happen? Even with the Buddha, sometimes monks used to be with him. And then what the Buddha mentioned, if you want to really see me, just try to see the Dhamma, learn the Dhamma. So the Dhamman Saranam Gacchami. It is not just we carry the dogmas and believing. Just believing things doesn't work in life. You know that. What you believe doesn't work when it comes to real life. When it comes to real life, what you believing not work. What you practice, what you know, going to work. So the Dharma is like that. In the samsaric journey, as a human being, then yourself, always look that you look for something, and you have a role model, and you want to uplift your life to a better place, and then see what the Buddha said. It is not difficult. It is not a kind of like a get into always rituals, and you have to stay away from things, don't do this, don't do that. you have to shave your head and become kind of like a monk, and you don't talk that much, you give up everything. This is not like that. Look at the Buddha's life and see that how the people behave around during the Buddha's time and what the Buddha taught. And for the different people and according to their situations, the Buddha tried to explain them the truth. He didn't develop a hierarchy like today we ourselves try to build. No, it's more with the more compassion. Buddha more try to address them to make them more closer to the truth within themselves. Look, each and every person, how the Buddha addressed to them. Buddha never went to arguments. Buddha never reject somebody in a very bad way. When Buddha never hurt people with ideas. So, and whatever they used to go with that, and Buddha tried to slowly divert them towards the right path. And so when it comes to Dharma, it is the important thing is, remember, one of the most beautiful thing that you experience is the Dharma. And the most of ideas we create through ourselves for different reasons. And sometimes that idea is not going to work for us. Remember that. Idea, Dharma is different. Ideas is like this. I will tell you the good example that see that that yesterday blast that happened in Beirut. Themselves they create that explosive. Themselves they keep it. For few years, I was reading that Reuters report, and few years it was there. They knew that, they collected it. Look, finally what happened? More than that, today I saw the report, more than 20,000 people became homeless. And for more than 4,000 people injured. Not 20,000, 200,000 people became homeless because of that yesterday explosive. Our thoughts the same. It is a very good example. Look at how it is possible. The people collect, and finally they don't know what will happen. It blow out. It same thing happened with the little thing. Very good example that. You don't need to go to Tripitaka or read some kind of scriptures or the mantra to understand. The very, when I see this, I was feel so sad. These innocent people, punished for, some people's ignorance. It is not should happen. The same thing within ourselves also. It's outside is the situation we see. The same thing happened to us when we collect thoughts, unnecessary thoughts, and keep it with us. Sometimes you have no power over it. It's going to blow out, destroy you and around you innocent, maybe your husband, wife, children, friends, parents. These innocent people going to suffer because of that your unnecessary behavior. Learn this. Look at the world. Look how it is, learn yourself. Dharma is the one thing you can clinging. When you collecting to Dhamma, when you're clinging to Dhamma, when you say Dhamman saranam gacchami, the most beautiful thing happen to you is the whatever the related with the Dharma, it facilitates around you. It never going to take you to a disaster. That's why I was thinking to talk about this today. It never going to take you to a disaster when you establish with the Dharma. So then remember, in yourself, in day-to-day life, be very careful. Learn the lesson from our own time. No, we no need to go to the history and get the lessons and then going to the books and look for the wisdom. Look, open your eyes, look around you and see. So that's why yourself harbor your life to Dharma. Why? Because it never take you to a wrong place. It never going to take you to a wrong decision. Dhamman saranam gacchami, when you say it, it heal you. It take you out of most of the miseries. And not only that, not only you, your innocent husband, wife, children, friends and family members, your innocent parents, and your innocent neighbors, your innocent country people, that innocent people, that they all going to, get the benefit out of that, your wisdom. So that's why don't get into collective things, that unnecessary things. It always going to become a very, very danger. And the Sanghan Saranam Gacchami, when it come to that, sometimes you cannot do it yourself. You need some other people around you. So somehow, nowadays, maybe you cannot find the physically the people like that way. But there are a lot of, the channels, there are a lot of teachers, there are a lot of people teaching things around us. So, and rather than getting to this TikTok, community and start to follow some good teachers, there are very good teachers. You don't need any money to follow them. You don't need anything to, to get into that. Just only thing is your desire to have a higher purpose, becoming a better person yourself, and get out of your dogmas or the, self-interest, self-centered life, and look for the truth. And it is everything in your fingertips today. And one click, So how beautiful it is. And so you have to get into that. Otherwise, it always take you to something else, because you cannot escape from this current. And remember that even your children cannot get out of this current. It's not going to happen. They have to go with it. Only thing is then, yourself, then find the right track. Then it is okay. And it's the Sangha and Saranam Gacchami is it allow you to get into right-minded people. And light-minded people use it in a kind of like a way, you do whatever you want. You don't care about that much, light-minded people. But when it comes to the spiritual path of this community of Sangha, light-minded people mean not collecting not clinging to things. They are very, relaxed inside them. And they allow things to be there. They don't disturb to things. And you you get out of a lot of clinging. Then your mind is so relaxed, tranquility state of meditation mindset. But it's commonly people use this light-minded, you gambling, drinking, smoking, and going out and do whatever you want. So that kind of. But in the spiritual path, there is a different meaning. So get into right-minded community yourself. Have a human characters around you. And get into the kind of like a light-minded, the community around you. And get into kind, minded people around you without harming to others. There are always, you know, that the people try to disturb others and become happy. Don't allow it to happen like that way. So yourself, getting to people, whoever, kind-minded people, and develop the community of, the Sangha around you like that. So that way, that little by little you get into a higher purpose, you reach to a higher purpose. Why? Because your environment you create around you with the better. So that's why when you say Buddhan Saranang Gacchami, Dhamman Saranang Gacchami, Sanghan Saranang Gacchami every day, it remind you, it slowly divert you from self-centered, self-interest life towards the truth, towards the truth. That is the transformation should happen within yourself. Otherwise, it always going to become difficult. And otherwise, always we clinging to something, and then once we clinging, then accumulation happen. And when the accumulation become too much pressure, somehow, maybe somebody ignite it, or maybe naturally, it going to blow out. So don't allow it to happen. So it is better yourself, and moment by moment clinging to the right path, because when you accumulate the right things, when you accumulate the dharma, there is a moment come. It also kind of like a blowout, and that blowout going to take you to the wisdom and enlightenment. And that blowout, like a big bang, it bringing the light to entire universe. It never going to take you to darkness or the suffer other people around you. When that blowout happen, it bringing the light to everything. It open the existence, so it open the path to everybody. So kind of like attaining to the Buddhahood, attaining to enlightenment, or the becoming Arahanta. So that is the kind of way that you result, you gain through this path of journey. So there's always harbor your thoughts, always anchoring your life to the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. So during this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And also I take this time to transfer the merits whoever lives that disappeared yesterday, that affected from that disaster. Wherever they are, may they be able to gain these merits. If they're living in a low existence, may they be able to attain to high existence, and finally may they be able to attain supreme bliss of liberation as they wish. And also we transfer all these merits to all that the people whoever suffering from that disaster, may they recover very soon. May no harm come to them, may no difficulties come to them. Finally, may they be able to get well as soon as possible. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi diga yuko bhav. Ettavata cha ammehi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idammi punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.